Hello and welcome to Cricket Next from a very chilly evening here in Dharamshala, where India are set to take on New Zealand in what would be their fifth game of the World Cup. Both sides have won their first four games rather convincingly. India fresh from a win over Bangladesh in Pune, and New Zealand, after registering that win over Afghanistan, are also riding high on confidence. So this is a top of the table clash, and both teams would like to continue with their unbeaten streak in the World Cup so far. A lot is at stake, and for India the news isn't good because Hardik Pandya will not be available for this game. He has been rested after that injury to his left ankle while bowling his first over of the game against Bangladesh. But that is in the past now, and today I think India had a session in the evening hours. They were training under lights, and two very unfortunate incidents unfolded which made India's net session very eventful and painful at the same time. So first it was Ishan Kishan. He was batting in the nets when he was stung and bitten by a honeybee, and he just rushed to the physio and just walked out of the net area by holding and rubbing his the back of his head, and it didn't look pleasant from a distance, and he looked in some pain, to be fair to him. And moments after that, Suryakumar Yadav replaced him in the nets. He was batting, looking very comfortable, and midway through his session, he received a delivery bang on his wrist, right wrist. Now, it's not clear from distance whether it was hit directly on the right wrist or whether it was the shock of the ball hitting higher up on the blade. But he too was in some pain. He stopped his batting right there. Was attended by the physios. Stood near the dugout camp where the team camp where the stuff of the physios is generally placed. He was receiving treatment on his right wrist, and when he walked past us, he was having strapping on his right wrist. So again, not good signs there too, but we hope and we have our fingers crossed. Surya did say while going out that it was a bit of a shock early on, the shock which you receive after a blow, but he looked good. He looked high in spirits, was walking with a smile on his face when he took that ramp outside the net area. So these were the two concerns for India today, and I think two players who could well be vying for a spot in the playing 11 tomorrow, because Hardik isn't available now, so we need someone to do that role in the middle order with the bat too, and it could well be someone between Ishan Kishan and Suryakumar Yadav, but as of now both of them unfortunately left the session in some pain. Now, just coming to what else happened in the net session, both Shardul Thakur and Ravichandran Ashwin had extended hit with the bat, and it remains to be seen whether India opt for that all-rounder role, the bowling all-rounder role, or whether they go in with a specialist in Mohammad Shami to just beef up the seam bowling department, because yes, dew will also play a part here, and it's evening right now, it's chilly, and since the sun kind of started setting down, the conditions have been such, there has been a lot of nip in the air, and these conditions could well assist seam bowling. So Rahul Dravid, coach, the Indian coach, was there at the press conference today before the match, and we did ask him categorically about the role which they expect Shardul to play, and Rahul was very clear. He said that they're looking at him like a fourth seamer option and a bowling all-rounder who can bat a bit, and he hasn't got an opportunity to showcase his batting skills, but yes, the coach said that he has been working very hard in the nets, looking good. He did have an extended session with the bat today as well, but still a lot of ifs and buts when it comes to the Team India's playing 11 tomorrow, because they could well go either way. They could beef up on all-rounders by including both Ashwin and Shardul. That could well be the case, or just keep specialist batters, and then you have 5 specialist bowlers in Kuldeep Yadav. You have Ravindra Jadeja, who can always bat. You have Siraj, you have Bumrah, you have Mohammad Shami. So that could well be the option, but it will leave them one bowling option short. Now it remains to be seen whether they're confident with that choice. While Rahul did say that we are very much clear in our mind with regards to our playing 11, but they still want to keep options open, and there are a couple of combinations which they can actually address and kind of consider before finalizing their 11 ahead of the toss. From the New Zealand camp, we had Tom Latham, and he was at his what would I say, he was at his subtle best, and he looked pretty confident to take on India in this game. And if you haven't read it yet, I interviewed Daryl Mitchell, New Zealand's all-rounder middle order bats at number 4, looked very good in that game against Bangladesh, where he scored a counter-attacking 50 and forged a beautiful partnership with Kane Williamson. So there are concerns in New Zealand camp too, because Kane Williamson, due to the thumb injury, isn't available for the group stages right now. He's recovering well, was with the team yesterday during the net session, but Saudi, good news, is available for selection. Now it remains to be seen whether they go ahead with someone like a Saudi and Trent Bolt, or just continue with Matt Henry, Trent Bolt and Lockie Ferguson as their 3 frontline seam bowlers. So it's going to be a top of the table clash, a top draw so far, and stakes are very high for both teams because a win here will well and truly cement their spot in the last four stage of the tournament. And New Zealand have had better of India in World Cups in the last few years, and India would like to kind of change that reading a bit now because they have been playing well, but all that planning and everything did go for a toss the moment Hardik was out of the question, because Hardik, as Rahul also said, kind of gives them a lot of balance, and that balance will not be visible tomorrow. He did make that statement. So when he did make that statement, there is a possibility that India could go either light on batting or light on bowling. You just can't get that balance without Hardik Pandya. He's that important a player, because if you want to make up for his skills, you need one batter and one bowler separately, because no, Shardul Thakur can't play that role. We are still not clear what kind of role the management expects him to play, because the bowling skills have been very ordinary so far in the tournament. So let's see what happens tomorrow, but it's going to be a cracking contest. The atmosphere is very good, as I have written in a story for Cricket Next this afternoon. The buzz is right up there, and the sleepy town of Dharamshala, where people used to come for the trek to Triund, or popularly being known as the place where Dalai Lama resides, and places where most of us residing in North India kind of look at this place as an option for our weekend getaway, because it's like a 500 kilometer drive from Delhi and areas around that too. So this sleepy city has kind of woken up for the World Cup game, and no better game than India and New Zealand to kind of get the tournament actually up and going for Dharamshala. And so you stay tuned to Cricket Next, because we'll keep bringing you all the updates from here in Dharamshala. Matches tomorrow, we'll bring you all the updates from the match, whatever happens after the match, whatever happens during the innings. So keep tuned in and keep following all our live shows which will happen tomorrow: the pre-match show, the mid-innings show, the post-match show. So this is Sahil Malhotra signing off, and before I sign off and tell you Cricket Matlab Cricket Next, do subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the bell icon to remain updated with all our latest videos.